So, I wanted to share a few coincidences that have happened recently. And it just boggles my mind sometimes when, it's like you feel like you're speaking out into nothingness and the universe just comes back and is like, no, I really do have your back. Last week, I woke up in the morning and my husband was watching this video on Facebook, and I'm like, what are you watching? And he shows it to me, and it's this caterpillar that hatched out of its egg and shed its skin like 4 times before it became a butterfly. And the part of it that stuck with me the most was how long this caterpillar had to go through this phase of being a caterpillar before it became a butterfly. I mean, it was first born, or it first cracked out of its egg, and it's this tiny little caterpillar. And it was this all black caterpillar. And then it ate some pine needles, and then it grew larger. It shed its skin and turned a different color. And this happened a few more times until it was ready to go into its cocoon. And after it went into its cocoon and spread its wings and became a butterfly, I realized, wow, like it spent most of its life in the caterpillar stage. And each time it, shed its skin, it was like this completely different looking insect. You wouldn't even think it's the same one. And it's crazy because it's like this caterpillar, it reinvented itself. Whatever it thought it was at that moment, it changed like a couple weeks later and was something completely different, a different size, color. And becoming a butterfly seemed like this momentary last breath. Like, even though we think in our minds, oh, for this little caterpillar to get to a butterfly, the whole point is being a butterfly, when really most of its life is spent in this, dynamic change, this ebb and flow of growing and shedding and growing and shedding, until at the very, very end, that's when that caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And so, okay, bear with me for a moment. I'm not trying to give a biology lesson, but listen. So I was recently rereading The Alchemist. I don't know, I came across it on YouTube again. I had read it years ago, and back then it meant a lot to me and really made me think hard about certain things. But reading it now, I feel like I get it on a much, much, much deeper level. And what's crazy is that what I really failed to miss the first time, even though I could say it and understand it, was that the whole point of the pursuit of a goal is the pursuit. The goal is at the end, that's just leading you through all of this growth. But that's the only purpose of the goal. It's to lead you through the growth. It's just not to have all of these random goals or a random goal just to achieve it. The point and whole reason for a goal or a purpose, a journey in life, or in The Alchemist, your legend, is that you grow as you continue towards this goal. And I've been completely missing this. I keep, getting on myself because I'm not accomplishing these goals, when all along I'm so worried about accomplishing this goal that I don't even start. I mean, of course I'm not going to know how to get there. It's the whole pursuit of it that's going to create me and transform me into this being that will be able to achieve this goal at some point. So in The Alchemist, this shepherd boy essentially leaves his flock of sheep and his life that he knew to go in pursuit of the pyramids. And each time he would reinvent himself. He was a shepherd, a crystal salesman, a desert wanderer, and he became all of these things in pursuit of his goal. He didn't necessarily say, hey, I want to do all of these things, but to get to my goal, this is what I need to do. So each time he ran into an obstacle, it's like he almost shed his skin like the caterpillar to become this new person that, even though it may not have been what he imagined, it got him closer to his goal. And he was able to experience new things and do new things because he was willing to shed this old skin and these preconceived notions of what it is that he was supposed to do and who it was that he was supposed to be. And each step of the way, he had to change his mindset and evolve. And what really is interesting and that I relate to and that I also find hard to break through was that whenever he had to transition into this new stage or this new lifestyle, initially it was so hard for him and he questioned it and he wondered, is this the way? And every time he went through those initial birth pains of going on into the next step, he was then able to pick up a little bit of momentum and understand, okay, yeah, I made the right decision. I had to do that. I have to keep going. And then once he almost got used to it and was like, okay, I can handle this, then it's like, bam, here's a new thing that you have to do. And he would almost have to repeat that process again and become this new little caterpillar that had to learn everything and again shed its skin and become something different. Each time that he became comfortable in his new transition, he was back in that same part that said, you know, should I just stay and settle? Because everything I have here is great. Everything is working. All parts of my life seem just dandy. Should I stay here or do I dare to want something more? Even though it doesn't make sense at all. And so every time he was faced with that, he had to make a decision to stay and settle, even though everything seemed great, or to continue on not knowing what's ahead, which could be complete ruin, but you're in pursuit of your goal. So I find that interesting that he had to make that decision multiple times. It was almost like, okay, you've reached another level, it's great, but then what? And it was the pursuit of his dream that pushed him past all of these, safety nets, and that allowed him to be strong and have the courage to push through these, even though it didn't make sense, even to him at some points, and definitely not to everybody else. And I feel like I've been viewing my dreams and goals in the wrong way. I'm looking to materialize them right now. And maybe it's the pursuit of these goals that's the real gem. And I think I've been missing that. Maybe the gem really isn't the goal. Maybe the gem is just the growth. And the goal is merely a way to achieve, the growth. And it's kind of like maybe the carrot at the end that is pushing us forward, but it really isn't the thing. I mean, even once you have something, it doesn't always seem that great, does it? And so maybe that pursuit, that chase, that unknowing, maybe that's the real gem in all of this. And so I get so hung up on how I'm going to do something instead of just doing it and just taking action. Maybe it's about just beginning the journey and allowing myself to be rebirthed and reinvented. And then I had this dream, and in my dream, I saw this snake come slithering over to me, right? And it went up and down and up and down. And then it came and circled around my head and then formed a crown. And almost the moment the crown formed, it just poof and dissipated. And after all of this, it was almost like confirmation saying that the knowledge of the journey itself, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, that right there, knowing that is where life is, that's the juiciest parts that you have to suck out, like that is the true knowledge. And in going on your journey and pursuing that knowledge. That's the point. That's the crowning knowledge. So I think that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it, and we'll see what happens. So here we go. Does this sound crazy? I don't know how I could miss something so simple and get tripped up. Well, I know how it can get tripped up. You know, there's always this comparison of what you want and what you don't have, and what others have and what you don't have. And I think that it's about just staying focused on exactly what it is that you want, and wherever that path takes you to get there is just your own path, however it may look. But let me know in the comments, have you read the book The Alchemist? What did you take away from it? I mean, I feel like ridiculous now that this has just clicked. I feel like I could have said this before, but maybe now, like, you know how you can read something and you can be like, I get it. And then just, I don't know, later at a different point, something else happens and you're like, no, but I really get it this time. I think that's where I'm at right now. So did you guys come back with that same conclusion? Is that what you got out of it? What are your experiences? Have you tried putting this into action? Any results? Let me know. I would love to know. Until next time, bye. And don't forget to subscribe and comment, because I would love to hear your story. All right.